Hello folks, how is it going? Rebels and Waratahs for this one. I see Rodri was asking that earlier. Alaran is here, how's it going? Novmam, YOLO, Nanapox. Who we picking? Do I need my Super Brew, Aotearoa Blues or Crusaders? YOLO, safe bet would be Crusaders, I reckon. Blues by 8, bro. I'll take it. Keep it if you want. They have a shield to Alaran. Oh well. Gotta compete for something. Sorry, Alaran. I'm on beers tonight. And the cab sav is all finished. If the Blues beat the Crusaders by 8, then get a bonus point. They go top of the table. Let's just get the win first. Then we'll worry about the bonus point later. I'm not holding my breath on that one, Mum. Who we picking? Rebels? Waratahs? Draw? We have just kicked off on my one. Let me know if I'm ahead or if I'm behind as well. Daramundi, man. Aren't you top? I think Daramundi, speaking of the Super Brew pool, I think Daramundi is number 1 in our pool. I can see a super chat's required. I'm just saying I went to the liquor store and I bought beer. My missus got some cider. I got some beer. It's called Catalina. I've never heard of it, but I know there's a World War II seaplane called a Catalina, so I bought the beer. I wasn't trying to angling for a free bottle of wine, but, you know, at least I got some drink. It's pretty warm, actually, so cold beer's doing the trick. Yola says I'm a Canes fan, but next team will be the Blues. Good man. Like the way you think. 1 minute into this one. Interesting that the Tars have got kind of a striped kit hoops for this one. Says has finally got beer, bro. I finally found the liquor store. It's a little more expensive than where I lived before, but I got beer. I did. Pablo, who's winning for me? I picked the Rebels for this one, brother. I picked the Rebels. Kia ora, Carl. Go the Mighty Blues and the Waratahs. Let's see, buddy. 2 teams in blue. Although the Rebels are also in blue. Alaran's got the Rebels by 9. I think I picked something similar, man. I'm picking a draw, says YOLO. Could happen. But I'm just glad it's an actual rugby game being played actually in Melbourne for the first time in like over a year. Remember Super Rugby? Oh, Harry Johnson Holmes! What? Sorry, the big old prop just had a big old line break. Yeah, they had the Super Rugby AU. Victoria was in lockdown last year, so they couldn't play any games there. Just go to Countdown, you'll be fine. Countdown for beers? Not in this part of Auckland, man. They don't sell alcohol at all. Neither does Pack and Save. You've got to go to an actual liquor store. It's very different from where I used to live. Morning, Kakuna, man. How's it going? You must be looking forward to the weekend. CJ's maybe last game in an Island jersey. Only 4 people in the pool picked the Tars. Goodness me, well they have been in pretty bad form. Sam, this is Catalina. It seems like it's a little independent brewery. 4.3%. It's got a simple can. I'm a simple man. There you go. Lemon J said, Jonathan, man, how are you doing? We are 3.5 minutes into this game. Pretty tentative start. Harry Johnson-Holmes is line break. He's the prop. I forget which side of the scrum he's playing on today. He alternates. Is the highlight of the game thus far. Rebels by 11, says Jonathan. You feel bad for me? Yes. The supermarkets in this neighborhood don't sell any alcohol. It's weird. And more expensive to buy alcohol. I can see myself buying alcohol whenever I'm on a trip to other parts of Auckland. Grant, man, how are you doing, buddy? In the desert? How's the weather looking? Ireland doing mid-year tour, just the Lions mid-year tour, but I think CJ should get a Lions berth, surely. It's his last game in Ireland jersey, absolutely gutted, but fully support his decision. Family comes first. Can understand that one, man. Looks like the Colonial logo on the beer. Colonial logo. What's the Colonial logo? This looks like a couple of chevrons. I guess has a military theme because Catalina, like I mentioned, is a plane. I'm not sure what that little creature is on the can. What is that? I don't know. Anyway. How do you know how to speak Chinese? Noticed you reading something last time. Eh? Yeah, I lived in China for like 7 years, so I picked it up. And I studied a wee bit before I left, so yeah. My Chinese is decent, conversational, read and write. Well, I hardly ever write with my hand, but I can write on a phone. I barely write English with my hand. Grant, Waratahs' first win today, you reckon? As Matt Samoa lines up a shot at goal. Desert is hot as always. Okay, I don't need to ask. Marius, man, how you doing, brother? Hope going well. Tamua has just slotted a penalty, as the Rebels have been like to do this season. That's an ugly 3, but it's 3-0. Brother Leaf, man, I'm doing well. Got beer in hand, can't complain. One thing I'll say is anyone who dares question his allowance and the whole he took the caps away from Irish Perk and F right off because you're not a true fan. That does seem to be a bit of a controversial one, eh? How's it, Adrian? Adrian, I'm good. What's the alcohol situation like in South Africa, Adrian? You guys aren't in... Like, the alcohol limit, that's long gone, right? I remember G-Man saying he wasn't able to buy alcohol for a while, I think. The little red creature looks like a little devil thingy jig of Colonial Brewery. Read the side. It does look like a little devil thingy. Little Creatures by Lion. So maybe it's part of Lion Breweries. Here I was thinking it was a little independent brewery. A little local lager, Little Creatures, New Zealand. That's it. Another penalty. Was that Hardwick? Hardwick. Good player. Picked him in my team of the week last week. We can buy a game, but only from liquor stores. Never been able to buy from supermarkets. Is that right? Most supermarkets, as far as I'm aware, in New Zealand sell beer and wine, but not spirits. Whereas this part of Auckland I live in has different regulations, so supermarkets don't have any alcohol whatsoever. Although they do like homebrew kits. Little Creatures was developed in Perth. Goodness gracious, does everything have a Perth connection, mate? Interesting. Happy weekend, Joe, man. Cheers. Happy Friday. Rebels are mauling it. They're about 5 meters out. I think they might be going to score here. It's going to collapse. Sure enough, it collapses, but that has to be a try. How do you see Ireland England going? Hard to call. Ireland persist with players based on experience, while England play one or two out of regular position. I actually forget how I've picked this one, man, but I think Ireland. On field, no try for the Rebels. Also, an Australian thing, you have to go to a bottle shop to get your alcohol, but usually you find a bottle shop next to supermarkets. So there's no alcohol for sale in supermarkets in Australia. Are we New Zealanders weird selling alcohol in our supermarkets? In China, supermarkets definitely sell alcohol. Definitely. And spirits as well. Think the MLR are starting this weekend. I like how rough version of rugby it is. Yeah, Marius, I was dying to do a video on the MLR this week, but I just ran out of time. My work has been absolute nightmare in the last couple of Farm with Sealy, a huge run. My work's been terrible. So, yeah, I ran out of time. Ran out of time. Joe, man, cheers to you, sir. Please enjoy a couple of me. Thanks for the great content. Appreciate it, brother. I will certainly be enjoying a couple tonight because it's warm and the beer is cold. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that very much. Taramundi says, where I've been, Australia and South Africa are weird. I know Spain and most of Europe has both in supermarkets. Okay. Oh, Farmer Sealy. Goodness me. Bounce off Dempsey. Thumbnail videos. I think the one I'm using at the moment for the live stream was just a drone shot that I took. Defaults to that one. My missus put 2 cents rugby on the thing. Do you think Tisano and Harbuck are ready for Test rugby? Do you think they're ahead of McRae? Tisano has certainly got a huge ticker. Like his tackle count, and partly it's because the Waratahs are on defence. His tackle count is stupidly high every week. Kind of reminds me of like a Matt Todd. You know, just makes tackle, tackle, tackle. Not a huge devastating ball carrier, but very, very effective defensively. Sam Cane's kind of the same. But yeah, whether he's ready for Test level yet, not sure. The beer is definitely not warm, mate. The beer is cool. Cold. It's come out the fridge. Lime Brewers must have thought it was worth promoting. Yeah, it's good. They make it out like it's a small little independent one, to be fair. I bought it thinking it was, but it was on special. That's also why I bought it. 2 cents. World Rugby needs to organise a tournament with the 10 best clubs in the world. I don't think World Rugby can organise that one. From what little I follow World Rugby, whenever I've seen interviews with Bill Beaumont or Pichot when he was running for the comp, they both kind of indicated like they have very little power of any kind of club rugby whatsoever. They pretty much organise the World Cup and then organise the calendar for internationals. That seems to be as much as they can do. So yeah, that's pretty much it. South Africa supermarkets feature wine sections, and a lot of supermarket franchises have their own liquor stores, which are typically right next door. Okay. Makes kind of sense. Maybe it's like a liquor licensing thing. I always get Ely's name wrong. It's Ely, not Lee. Bro, the Rebels have just scored. Very nice try. Donovan, man, how's it going? How many jerseys have I got, Wade? I think it's like 100. Great line out move from the Rebels. Pass to Anderson. Great try. Someone should really arrange a Club World Cup. I think we'd all like to see, I don't know, whoever it is, Leinster or Saracens or, you know, whichever side, Exeter, play a team like the Crusaders. That'd be phenomenal. Midfield defense of the Tars is mimicking a turnstile. In Australia, Aldi is the only supermarket that would sell alcohol within the main part of their store. I forget which of the brands over in Australia. I remember Countdown is Woolworths. It's all Rebels so far, folks. $10-0. Mr. April, love the videos. What do you and the kids think of the channel? Mrs. and the kids think of the channel. My missus doesn't mind it. I think she thinks I could have worse hobbies. Yep. Sometimes the look on her face though when she's like, how many games are on this weekend? Like I've told her, if you've got anything planned, Saturday is the day. Because I got nothing on until 7. Sunday, Six Nations starts like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to get up at like 5. So 5, and there's another game at 9, and then I'll have to rewatch the game which was on at 3 o'clock, which I missed. And then there's afternoon Super Rugby. I said Sundays are right off. So those kind of days, she's not that. There's not that much I can do about it. I reckon Leinster would beat the Crusaders. It would be a tough game. I think I would still back the Crusaders. They always seem to find a way. I did hear about CJ Stanley retiring, Robert. I even did a video about the great man. Is there still a law about no alcohol sales in South Africa on Sundays? I don't know about that one. New World is Coles. Woolworths is Countdown. Oh man. Maddox has just hooked a kick. Well left, because yeah, I think Harrison's been kicking it like 100%. That's weird. Tyke Furlong send them all to shop. He might do, mate. He might do. Great to see the big man back fit, I gotta admit. Mr. Anderson, yeah. Matrix. Got you. Got you. Coconut Man, how is it going? We are 10-0 after 16 minutes. Kian, also, brother, how is it? I forget what I picked the Rebels by, but it's looking like a decent pick at the moment. Club World Cup should be played in Joburg. Why Joburg? I have a feeling the Rebels going to win. I agree. They're looking far more dangerous at the minute. Not looking good for New South Wales, says nice for takeaways. You are correct, brother. Surely Tig is on the radar of a few Super Rugby clubs. Get the man in dry open playing conditions. He'll do damage. Twinkle toes, man, for sure. Cut teams up. Kian, bro, I'm doing very well, thank you. The weather is a wee bit warm, but I have a beer cooling me down. Crusaders or Blues on Sunday, Donovan? I hope the Blues. I think the Crusaders. Yeah, sad but true. Finally on the beers again, Mozza. Got there in the end, man. Had to find the liquor store. I got 2 supermarkets just down the road. No alcohol for sale. Nephism. How is it, sir? Looking forward to the game on the weekend. Did the stepping go viral in New Zealand? I think they showed it on the rugby show rather than like the 6 o'clock news. Yeah. Have we seen Jimeno in Super Rugby yet? No, we have not, brother. He has not made an appearance. The Highlanders are on the bye this week, but I would expect to see him next week. Must be comfortable there, yeah. Put a pile of spuds on the trial and nobody's getting near him. Robert, I think we can all agree with that. Nobody getting between Tig and his spuds. Have not seen my mate Big Will in a long time. Grant, you are correct, actually. I was sending him a message, but I ran out of time before this stream. Maybe I'll do it right now while you remind me. Yeah, he's been absent for quite some time. Where's old Big Will? Oh, I still haven't replied to Fish's email either. Anxiously. Yeah, a big job for the French this weekend. Tough, but they're at home, so you never know. Rainbow Cup starts. Yeah, I will make a video about it when it starts. I think we still need to have the Pro 14 final first, which is not quite here yet. It's Gelonche. Is that right? Gelonche Bush. His name's the one I keep. He's the one I keep missing. Big Will's cheating on me. Is it with G-Man? I haven't seen him for ages. But he's not been active on Twitter either. Usually I get his tweets like all the time. But yeah, he's been dead quiet. Fleshin' Man, how are you doing, sir? We are 22 minutes into Rebels and Waratahs, and it's 10-0. Waratahs are still scoreless. They've had one penalty missed. We've seen a couple of big props doing some decent runs, and it's rugby in Melbourne. Voila. Hopefully I got it. I'm improving the French names. The hardest thing about the French names, man, believe it or not, like, I don't have any particular trick to learning names. I try to get the pronunciation right. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But the only way I can do it is to mimic a native speaker, which means look for a highlights clip of that player doing something, usually scoring a try, because the commentator will say their name, right? It works 9 times out of 10. But the top 14 highlights are always shown with no commentary. So it's hard to find the guys' names, because when you look at those tribute videos, they usually play music in the background instead of commentary. So it's hard to just practice guys' names if you're not familiar with them. Anyway. Charlotte, how is it going? Doing some admin work for my husband. Have your stream to keep me company. Hope the Waratahs don't lose by too much. Oh, I hope you're having a good day, Charlotte, doing admin work. I had a day full of admin work, and I've had enough admin work for 1 week. Apart from losing a bit with my grandson, I now have blue hair. What happened, Fleshin? What was the bet? Wow. I'm getting there, Nephism, mate, because people have been putting corrections into the comments for me about the French name. So that's not an easy way to do it, because obviously when you hear someone say it, you can mimic it better than reading it. But yeah, people have been telling me this one's not right, say it this way, so I'm trying. Admin work sucks, but I hardly did any yesterday. It was actually a sunny day in your garden. Nice. Max, how is it, brother? It's another Rebels penalty. I reckon they take the 3. What happened there? I missed that. Fuck. That's an old shot from Fatma Sealy. French names are hard to pronounce sometimes, I agree. Some of the sounds are not natural for English speakers to make. Stash of jerseys in the background. Yeah, that's the stash. That's the stash. It's organised, actually, so they're easy to find now. I used to have them all hanging at the old place. One of the good things about the new place, like, it's not perfect, it's certainly got a few more difficulties, including finding beer. But yeah, I've got some shelving up with the jerseys in them, so getting there. French names are as hard as some Polynesian names. I think I'm more used to the Polynesian names, man, because in my school, I was surrounded by guys with Polynesian names, so at least it's more familiar than guys with French names, which is like legit foreign for me. Another penalty. $13-0. It's already starting to look like a pretty tall mountain for the Waratahs, I'm afraid. Someone asked me if I was supporting the Waratahs because of the jersey. Kind of. I don't really mind, but I'd like to see the Waratahs not go without a win. Willie, mate. Craig. Off to Cornwall for another dirty weekend. Travel safe, man. Travel safe. Good to see you. Long story. Tried for red hair, but he said you would like that too much. So blue hair. Okay. Mental note to myself. Don't bet about dyeing my hair colour. Nice food takeaways. I don't think that's a French word somehow, but I did hear that in my high school as well, quite a lot. Is anyone else just enjoying the Tars losing, or is it just me? I think you and most non-New South Welsh rugby fans. But it's such a weird one because I don't feel it at all on this side of the Tasman. I would have never known the Tars were so hated until I had this channel. I love rugby and stupidly complicated names like Ben Smith, Conrad Smith, Aaron Smith, Fletcher Smith. Rando, I did love it when we had 3 Smiths playing in the same team. Like, it's as close as we've got to Wales. Wales, it's always like, you know, there's 3 Williamses and 3 Joneses. Or Davis. Like, at the moment, it's mostly Davises. There's so many Davises. New Zealand, we don't usually have that, but we had a measure of that with Aaron Smith, Ben Smith, and Conrad Smith all playing in the same team. That was pretty good. Rob Penny is like the Jose Mourinho of rugby without the Portuguese accent and attitude. A once great becoming a joke. It's a wee bit of a fall from grace. Yeah. His career path or his results are not living up to their reputation, that's for sure, man. Where is that Gatland? New Zealand used to have Ian Jones and Michael Jones in the same team. True, Jonathan. I didn't actually know they were cousins. Are they cousins? Holy moly, you learn something every day. Italy haven't won a game since 2015 the Six Nations. Should someone replace them? I don't think there's a team which is fit to replace them in Europe. Unless you want to get like Japan or Fijian. Because South Africa signed up to the Tri-Nations the Rugby Championship for another couple of years. So, yeah, Georgia is not... Yeah, I don't think Georgia's there yet. I think Georgia would also get beaten pretty comfortably. I don't think Georgia would go on a winning run anytime soon. But, yeah, it is tough. Italy at the moment are too bad to be in that competition, but too good to be anywhere else. Who would take Italy's place, though, is Hank's question and mine. Exactly. Has to stay in Europe, in theory, eh? Andy Farrell and Owen Farrell used to play together. Yeah, true. That kind of stuff's crazy, eh? But you got to have kids pretty young to do that. Score predictions for Wales and France. I think I might have tipped France, eh? But not by much. Boxer contract to the Rugby Championship. Exactly, Kakinen. They left Super Rugby, or were pushed from Super Rugby, whichever way you want to look at it. And they did extend to the Rugby Championship. So they are locked in at least for a few more years. Other nations would have to buy Italy out as they hold a six. Oh yeah, that's true, Reese. Yeah, you're right. That was part of that CVC deal as well. We saw recently where they bought 1/7 of the competition. So Italy is a partner. You can't just dump them. And the other partners, the other countries don't want to get rid of Italy. Financially, Italy is a way bigger draw than any other team in Europe by miles. The only other one is Japan, but it just doesn't really fit, I think. Anyway. Georgia is in decline. Simon, you probably know more about that than me. I know they haven't been winning their games in Europe by much, but as far as I'm aware, they haven't been playing their top guys. In Sale, after signing JP Duplessis, some of their lineups featured 4 players with the same name. Is that right? I remember we had 3 Dupreas playing for the Sharks at one time. You can say Sale or Durban. Romania. Yeah, Romania is probably the next best one after Georgia in Europe, right? I don't follow that rugby enough to really keep an eye on it, but I know Georgia's winning streak's huge. People keep forgetting Six Nations private organisation owned by members, and Italy is a member. They're not going to vote to remove themselves. Exactly right, Simon. Yeah, true. It's now owned by 7 parties, right? The 6 unions and CVC. We had a local legend team over here in Japan where the team had a set of twins in the pack and 3 siblings in the backs. Commentators gave up. I can't imagine. I seem to remember Wales once recently having, was it 4 or 5 Davises? Gareth, maybe Seb. Oh, there were others. Jonathan. Do you think Peter Marnie will come off the bench against England? He's been named on the bench, right? So, yeah, he should come off at some point. Come on, off the bench, onto the field. Maybe Spain and Portugal could step up, but there's just a big gap between Italy and anyone below. Yeah, it's so hard because so many of these countries don't have guys playing professional rugby as a job. Like a lot of them are still amateur guys who are builders or doctors or lawyers or whatever the heck it is. And their main job, There's nothing like having that as your job and training 5 days a week. You're not going to be able to match that. Even with the Italians having 2 professional teams. You can see the results, man. It's still not quite there. It's amazing Scotland gets the results they do with 2 professional teams. Another penalty for the Rebels. 16-0. This game is too one-sided. This game sucks so far. I realised about 2 minutes ago that I was like, have I actually been watching this game? I'm just reading the chat more. Overall, though, I think Super Rugby AU has been good. We'll have a line out. What time is it? The game time is 34:10. My physical clock is 10:24 in the evening. Certainly one-way traffic, Novmum. Yeah. Why the hell did Farrell select Murray starting 9 when he's only just back and wasn't even used last weekend? Should have left Jameson Gibson Park on. Put Casey on the bench. And interestingly, Andy Farrell's, I don't know, he's copping flack left, right and centre. He seems to be torn. He's like not doing a rebuild, but he's not. He's admittedly blooding more players than Eddie Jones is. Like Connors has had a good crack this Six Nations. I think Casey got off the bench for like one game and he's been around the squad. Keenan's gotten some proper minutes as fullback. Ryan Baird's been getting a few minutes. It's a pity Gavin Coombs didn't really get much more of a chance, but it's more than Eddie Jones guys have been getting. Dogwoo's not even got a minute yet. But yeah, he's maybe been a little bit gun shy in terms of being a bit bolder with some of the minutes anyway. Oh, big line break for the Rebels here. They're in attacking zone. How long gone, James? We are at 35:50 on the game clock, so we're not far from halftime. We usually have a lot of Joneses in the Welsh squad. Yeah, it seems like Joneses have been replaced by Davises though, right? There's more Davises than Jones at the moment. Did you watch the America's Cup? Carl, I watched about 20 minutes of it on YouTube. I'm not a sailing guy at all. At all. Like in terms of the list of sports I would watch, like sailing is like, whoa, way down there. But the hype around the sailing in New Zealand has been that crazy that even I had to watch a little bit of it. Any bets on the Tars score in this match? Less than 12? Goodness me, are they even going to get to 12? Williams, Jones and Davis are the most common names in Wales. Yeah, I get that feeling. It seems to go in kind of cycles, eh? Like I really think Davis at the moment is the most common. What's wrong with 12? You think it's too high? They could score twice. Second half. Tired teams open up a wee bit. What did you think of Ramon Pocock's performance at the breakdown? He certainly, gets... Oh, are you kidding me? Oh, that's unbelievable. What a try. Okay, even Tamua like that one. Bloody hell. Far too high. Okay. Tamua just scored an amazing try if you guys aren't watching it. A dummy, a chip and regather when he had absolutely no rights to it. He caught the ball as a bad pass. He caught it dead. He just runs it, dummies it, chips and chases it, regathers it. Oh, unbelievable. Moment of the match, that one. Great try. Game needed that. Game needed that. Who do you think's going to win the Pro 14 final between Munster and Leinster? I mean, Leinster probably goes in as the favourite, right? Between those teams, you can never really tell. It's always tight. Dylan, 2 cents, plenty change in the Scottish pair. Can't wait to see how hockey goes at 10. I know, Dylan, mate. It's crazy. It's a shame that they've had to, go through so many unenforced changes, eh? But yeah, it's good exposure for some of the guys. Hell of a kick too. 23-0. Holy smokes. $23-0. Oh, the Waratahs are woeful, James. You're not wrong. It's embarrassing. It's not good for the game. Not good for the game at all. Hans, man, how's it going? I'm about to grab myself a beer. Have to... Anyway. The new Chiefs. Yeah, maybe. Alright, folks, I'm going to grab a beer. I'll be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, seeing as Rodri's talking about lambing. Don't beg the Chiefs, says Elron. Yeah, they're having it tough enough, man. Leave them alone. Everybody, hope you're going good. Much better. Kakinen, what's up with all these football references? You could definitely say Penny is Mourinho, the Tars are Tottenham Hotspur. They get a fancy new stadium, better play. Oh man, whatever happened to... Was it Pochettino that was the old Spurs coach? Whatever happened to that guy? I'm logged in on working from home watching this, says Jonathan. 9:30 a.m. working from home. I've been doing a bit of the old working from home recently because I've been doing the pick up and drop off with my kids, but it's a bit of a mission. You should replace the whiteboard with a beer fridge. Bro, that's genius. Can you imagine if it was a beer fridge that you could, had a whiteboard on the front? Right on the whiteboard, and then just open up and grab a beer. That's incredible. That's maybe a game changer. I would pick the Chiefs over the Tars. The Chiefs are just unlucky, but the Tars are terrible. I think I would definitely be taking the Chiefs over the Tars at this point. The Tars are bad. Spurs sacked Pochettino, who made them good. And they got that dinosaur Jose. Yeah, that seems like stupid. Football's one of the worst sports for knee-jerk reactions in terms of coaches getting sacked, though. Somewhere that can have them both during Monday. I know, man, that'd be ideal. And Star Leo, the Tars are not great. Whiteboard fridge. Oh, and we got to make this happen. The whiteboard fridge. It's a game changer. Had to drop my daughter off at college this morning, and oh my god, the traffic. I don't have to drop her off. What's madness is, I know this is a real parent thing to complain about, but the street that I've moved to is like a side street off a really busy main road. And it should be a 2-minute drive to my daughter's daycare, and it took me like 15 minutes yesterday. That doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're 15 minutes going that speed and just not moving, stuck at an intersection, that's horrendous. When you got kids in the back, it's not a good time. Not a good time. You'd only have 2 cans in the fridge. I can assure you I have more than 2 cans in the fridge at the moment. I'm sure you could write on any white fridge. Just do it. You might be right, Charlotte. Maybe I should take a whiteboard marker into one of my appliance stores, one of the local appliance stores, and just give that a test run. If it doesn't come off, I'll make myself scarce. If you had to choose between supporting Glasgow Warriors or Edinburgh, do you have a team? That's a tough one. It's another one where I'm an outsider looking at that situation, not really fully understanding the context. But from what I understand, Edinburgh is probably the equivalent of Auckland. So I'm probably an Edinburgh guy. But Dave Rennie was at Glasgow, so my initial inklings would be to Glasgow. So I'm kind of torn. Batman, how is it going? James has just finished homework at 3:30 a.m. Brother, go to bed. Go to bed. 3:30 a.m. That's sleep time. Although if you're doing homework, you're still young enough to do that kind of time of day. The whiteboard fridge must happen. I know, Carl. Although it might be because like sometimes I have to move the whiteboard to like not get the reflection of the TV or the light, so that might be a bit awkward to move it. Or get a black fridge. Blackboard paint, okay, on the fridge and do it with chalk. Possible. Get a patent for the whiteboard fridge. I'm pretty sure the market for a whiteboard fridge is probably pretty small. It's probably just one guy. Landon's got the idea. Whiteboard fridge with wheels. So we're going through the whole development process here, aren't we? The whiteboard fridge definitely needs to have wheels. Chalk still exists, Dalio. Man, my kids have got chalk for writing out on the concrete outside. I love that stuff. Chalk still exists. Am I going to stream the Blues versus the Crusaders? Yeah, if I don't end up going to the game, I'm still trying to work out how I'm going to plan my Sunday because it's looking like a very busy day. Go on the Shark Tank with my proposal for a whiteboard fridge. What other purposes would there be a whiteboard fridge though? In what other situation would you need a whiteboard fridge? Whiteboard fridge requires retractable power cord. Yeah, the whiteboard fridge thing's starting to get a wee bit complicated, isn't it? I'm cracking you up right now. Yeah, the conversations always go down an unexpected route, and very seldom is it actually talking about the game. But this time it's whiteboard fridge. Luke, man, how are you, sir? Whiteboard fridge with wheels and a screen. I was at a bar once with small screens on the draft beer tips so you wouldn't miss the action. That's unbelievable. I've never seen that in New Zealand. Whiteboard fridge will make billions. Rodri, I haven't heard back about the media pass. My hopes for that one, whilst they initially got buoyed by a positive response, they seem to be sinking faster than Titanic at the moment. Get a whiteboard fridge and your views will skyrocket. It's all about the whiteboard fridge. Oh man. Edinburgh is the capital, but I believe Glasgow is the largest city, so it's similar to Auckland in that sense. Is that right, James? I wasn't sure about that, but from what people have told me, Edinburgh is the city where people would be more likely to drive a Land Rover and buy a latte. So that seems like Auckland, even though it's not the Auckland part of Auckland I'm from, but you know what I mean. Not the strangest conversation I've ever heard in a YouTube live stream. Good. Whiteboard fridge is still very, I don't know, it's G-rated, isn't it? Solar-powered whiteboard fridge. Oh, Grant, man. What if Auckland's pretty cloudy? what's going to happen is I'm going to get warm beers, and nice food takeaways is going to give me even more grief about drinking warm beer. And it needs a padlock for the kids. Goodness me, this is getting out of hand. Why don't you just have a fridge, but doors are whiteboarded, and when you need a bed to open? That's the whole thing. It sounds genius, isn't it? I wouldn't have to get up. Very tame for sure, yeah. Probably, that's pretty deliberate. We never used to have surnames in Wales until the English needed to tax us. Is that really why there's so many common surnames in Wales? Is that a thing? I feel the whiteboard fridge would be practical for people. You can put lists on it for work or the YouTube channel. Who works with a fridge? Apart from me, who would like to have a fridge with a whiteboard. Who works with a whiteboard? Will I be watching the Pro 14 final next week? Luke, I haven't even looked at next week's fixtures. Is it actually next week? I honestly had no idea. If it is, I will be watching it depending on what time of day it's on. Ask Gaza for advice. Yeah, I'll see about that. This is a rough one as a Tars fans, Delta. I can imagine. South Island was originally inhabited by Scottish settlers. Yeah, part of the South Island, Dunedin area. Southland, I think. Aileron's just tested a whiteboard marker on a fridge and we're good to go. Did you really just write on your fridge at the risk of being, I don't know, at the risk of staining your fridge? Whiteboard markers are pretty easy to wipe off, to be fair. Charlotte studied in Edinburgh and then worked there for 2 years. It's so beautiful, but then so is Glasgow. I agreed with a lot of English people in Edinburgh. You were one of many, is that right? Why Edinburgh, I wonder? I guess maybe a lot of jobs in Edinburgh. Have to start a Kickstarter to get me that whiteboard fridge. This is snowballing. Stan's popping at 9 a.m. UK time to wish you well and good for the content. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. Get a poster of Roman Watt at the breakdown. I could probably do that as a green screen background if I wanted to. Solar power charging batteries on the whiteboard fridge. The whiteboard fridge is sold with 2 batteries. Oh, goodness me. Product development phase. We need to do a pilot. How many do we put out for the pilot? The magnets will work. That's very keen. Very key. Number of Welsh players after the year 2000. Williams 14, Davis 9, Jones 13. Williams is the winner. Okay. Davis is the lowest. I have used the green screen before, and it's just kind of a pain in the backside. I was going to say something else. I was going to say bum. That's not a swear word. If you can already use whiteboard markers on fridges, the financial prospects of the whiteboard fridge are probably going through the floor at the moment, aren't they? Diminished, yeah. The cock is the only animal that can sing with its feet in a little bleu. Oh man. Icy Savage. Hey, how's it going, bro? Whereabouts in New Zealand are you at? Nearly time for beer for Aileron in Western Australia at 6 p.m. It's already 1:45 over here. Oh, I forgot to look up the halftime stats. We're so obsessed about this bloody whiteboard fridge that I've forgotten about that there's rugby on. Let's have a quick look before the players run out. I haven't taken a lot of notes. I'm just going to end up talking about the whiteboard fridge. Right, halftime stats between the Rebels and the Waratahs. Possession 47-53 Rebels. Territory 42-58 to the Tars, believe it or not. Wow. The stats, if you believe the stats, you'd think the Tars are winning. Tars have conceded too many penalties. Tars line-out is shocking. Okay. And run meters. 214 Rebels, 185 Tars. Second half. Rotorua, nice man. My missus wants to take the kids there at some point. Now that they're kind of old enough to actually appreciate, traveling. Well, not really, but a little bit. I fully expect a video after this game reviewing the prospect of the whiteboard fridge. This must be the most time whiteboard fridge has ever been mentioned in any conversation in the history of planet Earth. Good evening. I popped in here about your upcoming merch, the branded whiteboard fridge. Lee, yep, we're all over the whiteboard fridge. In a store near you soon. The RDS was built to house horses for... What? That can't be right. Kick off in the second half, by the way, if you're actually watching the game. 40 minutes, 10 seconds going on the clock. Do you think he'll take the kids to China to meet that side of the family? At some point, man. Yeah, it's been ages. My son's been a couple of times. My daughter was born there. But she hasn't been back since she was born. And she came back before she can remember anything. She probably can't remember nothing now, and she's almost 3. Best 10 in Australia at the moment, probably O'Connor. But it's a tight race. They're kind of blessed to have that talent. Like, they've got 4, really, because Harrison's decent as well, although he's playing for a team which is getting hidings. RDS is primarily used for horse shows. That can't be true. I mean, I admit that the Blues here in New Zealand, their training ground is like a horse racing track, and in the middle of it, they've got a field. And they've got a training area next door, like a building with a gym and stuff. I've been in there. But it's a horse racing track, and in the middle, they do training. In the middle of a horse racing track. Just the training, not the actual games. You remember Cipriani's fleeting time with them? Yeah, I remember that. I remember thinking they signed Cipriani, they signed Beale. Did they have James O'Connor at the same time? I remember the Rebels, and was Gareth Delve the captain? They spent all this money seemingly on backs. And I was like, if you guys want to build a successful rugby team, you should probably get the hard-hitting and workhorse forwards first and then get the backs later. Because these backs aren't going to get nothing without the forwards in front of them. And sure enough, they didn't do very well. Built by Royal Dublin Society to house horses and equestrian events, and now it is a team of donkeys. Shots fired. Fact, Ford wins games these days, and for a long time. I learnt that, this is going to sound dumb, but I learnt that lesson. Do you guys, you remember Rugby AU and the games before it? Like you could do like a World League and you started with some crap team with like Heffler, who was your best fly half. I remember him. And all I remember, because you could sign players from any other teams, is you wanted to sign some good loosies, good locks, and good props first, because you needed to be able to win line-out. You needed at least one good lock, and you needed good loosies. Otherwise, you just lost the ball to breakdown every time. It was like literally a lesson in get your get your forwards sorted first. Otherwise, you ain't gonna get nothing. Love the World League back in the day. Yeah, I feel you, Stalio. Whiteboard fridge with a beer dispensing tap. Man, that's just next level. This design's getting costly, isn't it? There's always so many seagulls at this ground, eh? Come on, Tars. We need 12 points. 12 points. For respect. Why are there birds in the pitch? Yeah, brother, I don't know. Hey, it just always seems to be a thing in Melbourne. I think once one got hit by a ball, but that may have been cricket. But not at this ground. Maybe it was MCG. I remember Heffler with a giant head covered in a scrum cap that seemed too small. I'm trying to think who were the other guys. Like, no matter what team you started with, they took out a lot of your good players and left you with basically garbage because you were supposed to start. You could pick the best team, but they would just rip all the good players out and leave you with the basic team because you were at the bottom of the division. Rebels by 7, but you're being too conservative, Darmundi. I think I'm with you on that, hey? Heffler the best team, better than Carter. Do I like Guinness? Yeah, Guinness is alright. It's not one I would drink every day, but I can certainly enjoy a good Guinness. Who did I pick? I definitely picked the Rebels. What the hell is that? An ad for Headspace. Happy, calm. God, I picked the Rebels by 5. What was I smoking? Bloody hell. Scrap the fridge, get a fridge freezer, get some ice as well. Guinness with a splash of black currant. That can't be a thing. Surely not. Oh, this Tarzan just got a free kick at scrum time. Confirmed Scotland-France will be on the 26th of March. They just have to sort out the release of players from the Premiership and the top 14. At least it's going ahead and it's only a week away. It's a Friday, isn't it? I think I read that news. Declan, Six Nations, I think I will go with the second 2 games. So, not Italy, Scotland, because it's just too early. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. But England, Ireland is 5:45 a.m., so that's doable. And then the Grand Slam decider, France and Wales, 9 a.m. I think we can lock it in. I have no respect for anyone who mixed blackcurrant with Guinness, says James. Yeah, I'd never even heard of it. I just always think if you drink Guinness, you probably drink it straight. That being said, if I have whiskey, sometimes I have it with something. And my friend who likes a single malt, he does not approve. He's a purist. For the Rebels are going to score again. All around my pick of 12 is looking ridiculous, isn't it? Feel bad for the Tars and neutral. I'm glad the Rebels are doing well. Yeah, that's true. Especially seeing as they're back at home for the first time in so long. I don't feel like the Rebels have really had to hit top gear though. Harrison just gets rid of it. That wasn't Harrison. Controversial opinion, Iron Liner under that Paul O'Connell, the best in the world. It's pretty good. 5:40 AM for the Six Nations. Is that too early to crack a beer, Bobby? I'll probably be cracking the coffee. My wife used to mix Guinness with Coke. Wow, I've never heard of Guinness being mixed with anything. I can't see the Tars scoring. Yeah, at this moment it's looking like a bit of a dream, isn't it? Here we go. Line out move, Tars. Come on. Slammed by Hodge. Reese, I think I'll go with the other two Six Nations games tomorrow, and then I'll probably do the New Zealand Super Rugby game tomorrow. Chiefs and Hurricanes, and then probably the Blues and Crusaders. So there'll be a few. Take your pick. Irish people must be having heart attacks with the thoughts of Guinness being mixed with all this stuff. And the Scots of any single malts being mixed with anything. Guinness is actually red. What? The Rebels have got a penalty. Bit of handbags. Handbags. Carbidi is angry. What happened there? Marika Carbidi got angry about something. Didn't like Dempsey on Pincus. Remember last time you had wasps and you shared? Yes, Knob Mum. What happened with the wasps? It takes 7 pints of water to produce 1 pint of Guinness. Don't tell anyone who's involved with like sustainable stuff, because they won't be happy with that. I think jeans are the same, right? It takes heaps of water for people to produce jeans. In Germany, bro, they're mixing everything into beers. Is that right? New Zealand must be way behind the times. If you drink Guinness out of anything other than a Guinness glass, it's a crime here on. Oh, and I've definitely drunk Guinness out of a can. I hate to admit I've drunk Guinness out of a can, probably on this this channel. The dead ones in the window were gone. My husband was like, huh. Google, and it looks like they may have been eaten by ants. Bloody hell, so ants took out your wasps. I haven't had cockroaches since last weekend's stream. I've had 2 cockroaches early morning, and then nothing since. Jameson whiskey. Carl, that's the one I always used to mix with Coke. Coke. Don't hate me. My Aussie mate. No tapping, Rodri. There's been no tapping. Thankfully. The creepy tapping sound seems to have gone as well. Mix Guinness with Midori, apple sours, and something else to make a pint that looks and tastes like a gummy bear. Phew, I'm curious, Gordon. I would try it. I would try it. Jeez, Maddox. So they had him in the head? What the hell? A game of rugby with a bottle of Fentimans Cola, never heard of it, and a Mars bar. That sounds like a lot of sugar. I'm trying to cut down on the soft drinks, man. I haven't had one for ages. It's a fiver, but it's worth it. I don't have to try it. Big V8 show. How's it going, brother? Friend once tried making a cocktail with stout, milk, and chocolate liqueur. How'd that work out? Best game of rugby I've watched. If you make me to pick one off the top of my head, it'd be the 2015 World Cup final. My team wins. It's a momentum shift game. There's no red cards. There's a yellow card. Some good tries. Great game. Do you still have that blue bag you keep your beer? Owen, I do have it somewhere. Since we moved, all our crap has gone all over the shop. It'll be around here somewhere. A bit of a one-man war with fizzy drinks. Stan, I don't know what it is, man. I was addicted to fizzy drinks like nobody's business. Just like any time I would have a meal, I would probably have either a fizzy drink or a beer. And either one's full of sugar. So I haven't cut the beer, but I've cut the fizzy drinks, and my weight has gone down. So I haven't cut much else. My diet hasn't changed. The exercise hasn't changed. Just don't do fizzy drinks. So yeah, it seems to do a good job. Fentimans is amazing, but so sugary. Then again, beer isn't beer super sugary? Yeah, you're right. Fenton Cola is delicious, but about a year's sugar intake in a bottle. It's the kind of thing you can have like once every 6 months, maybe, so you don't get over sugared as a treat. I will say in this game, if nothing else, the Waratahs scrum is doing okay. But the breakdown, not so much. 200 calories in a pint of beer. Yeah, they say it's kind of gives you a beer belly for a reason, right? It's pretty bad. My brother-in-law bought me a pack of 6 classic malts miniatures, and I drank them all with Coke. He went mental. Yeah. My mate, who is Scottish by most of his ethnicity, he's got like his mum is 100% Scottish and his dad's like part Scottish. He's a single malt man. He's a Kiwi, but yeah, he hates the thought of me mixing anything with any kind of whiskey. Like, he looks at like Jack Daniels and stuff, and like he's just like, ugh, not real drink. And he gets a bit. And I'm precious about that kind of thing. I'm more casual, man. Just drink what you want to drink. I'm not too fussed. Another penalty for the Rebels. This time it's Hodge. $26, man. What's your height sense? If you go in metric, I'm 194 centimeters, which is like 6'4". So I think I'm the same height as like maybe Maro Itoje. I think he might even be slightly shorter than me. I better Google that. Maro Itoje height. Oh no, he's taller than me. He's 195. Forgive me, Maro. for thinking I was taller than you. You're taller than me. There's one lock that I'm like slightly taller than. 194 is 6'5". Okay, maybe I got that wrong. James Ryan says he's teased for being only 6'5". Well, that's the thing, man. I don't know how Maro Itoje's a lock. He's tiny for a lock in terms of height. A beer drinker will always fall backwards. What? That's a bit left field. Is that a thing? James Ryan, the only man that could look like Sid from Toy Story. Which one is Sid? Is it the dog? Man, the Tars at the moment are just looking... goodness me. Do you find the bench height for dishes difficult? No, my man, you read my mind. I hate doing the dishes because after I get about halfway through, my back starts to kill. My wife's actually talked about if we ever redo the kitchen, getting higher benches because I do most of the dishes. Biggest lock I ever saw was Martin Bayfield, who was 209, 6'10". Bloody hell. Grant, man. Thank you for the super sticker, bud. How is things in the land of the Long Dong, which is the famous Taiwanese beer you educated us all about? I'm on the Catalina tonight. It's okay. Thank you, man. Good to see you as always. Definitely for the couch fund, Rodri. Your Kiwi mate is called Kiwi Mick. I don't think we do that kind of thing with people over here. Like, if there was an Englishman or a Welshman, we wouldn't say like Welsh Bob or, you know, whatever. I don't think we do that. At least not in Auckland. Umpiring tomorrow. Nice, man. It's a thankless task. I hope you go well. And remember to count how many balls have been bowled. Luke, we do call people Poms generally, but never specifically like English Pommy Bob kind of thing. Yeah, that's not a thing. Forward pass for the Tars. It's not going their way. And Law 2-2. Law 2-2. Cricket reference? Law 2-2? It's gone above my head. I could probably Google it. Come on, Tars. Do something. They've got their own line-out ball. Just barely. It was messy as. We need 12 points, Tars. This is as close as they've looked the whole game. They're about 8 meters away from the Rebels line. Law 2-2, the over. Really? Is that what that is? Morning, Afro. How is it, sir? I even didn't notice it. Sam Wykes is on for the Tars. 7 phases the Tars. Come on, you guys can do it. Get a try. Surprised by the scoreline, Luke. Oh, the Tars have been bad this year, man. They weren't that good last year, but they seem to have gotten worse. They've lost a few key players. And as Grant says, they are hopeless. Wonder if Swinton will get another shot with the Wallabies, seeing it's been pretty average. Yeah, a lot of the Waratahs guys are going to be struggling for Wallaby spots at this point. Is it just me, or does someone hate when someone calls a rugby player by their first name? I think a lot of New Zealanders refer to Richie McCaw as just Richie. And if you ever said the word Jonah, everyone knew who you were talking about. Anyone else? That's kind of a first name first guy? You got to be pretty big to be mostly known by your first name. Who would have known that a few of those key players are the difference between the Tars being rubbish and decent? I know, man. That's surprising. They lost Hannigan. They lost Michael Hooper. They lost, I think, a couple of locks. Alan Wynne Jones, you have to say his whole name. Bowden. Yeah. At least if your name's a bit more unique, although Richie is not that unique, is it? Oh, Rebel scrum penalty, what a killer. What's a killer? JP, didn't know you were doing a stream. Oh, mate, I organised it about 20 minutes before kickoff, so that's my fault. Seeing bloody Tars gear. Oh, I had to give them something because they're not doing much on the field, are they? Bloody hell, it's terrible. Watching the AFL tonight as your team is playing, but very happy to see that scoreline. The Tars are terrible, man. The Tars are doing shocking. Ireland versus New Zealand in New Zealand next summer. What a summer that'll be. Oh, and fingers crossed by that stage everyone is good to go with the travel. "12 points are evaporating like a puddle in the Pibara." Is Pibara a desert? I can't imagine saying just Richie. In high school, it was always Richie McCaw. Actually, in primary school, not a lot knew what a turnover was. We used to call it a Richie McCaw. I'm just trying to think about my associates who are kind of like not very rugby people. Like if I was talking to my mum, if she hadn't seen the game, she would say like, "How did Richie play?" Not "How did McCaw play?" But it'd still be Retallick, it'd still be Whitelock, it'd still be, who else? Mealamu at the same time. It was never Kevin. How did Kevin play? Nah, Richie. Roger's got 2 different New Zealand jerseys, Chiefs and a Bay of Plenty. You're missing only the one, man. That's the Blues one. Get that one. Then you'll feel much happier. Luke, the Reds have got the Force tomorrow, and they are hot favourites for that one. They should give the Force a pretty hard time. Yeah, it can't just be Barrett because there's three of them, brother. That may be why we call him Bodie more, eh? Because maybe because his name is a bit more unique, but also because he's got two brothers playing. Are the Tars just rebuilding or lost a lot of key players? They appointed Rob Penny last year, so it's his second year as coach. So they are kind of rebuilding. They had a bit of a exodus last season, which has not helped them. And the signings they've made have not added a heap of value thus far. A lot of the young talent seems to be with the Brumbies and with the Reds. And a few with the Rebels. Man, Jordan Uelese is pretty happy to score a try against the team which is doing shocking. Any suggestions for which team to follow in what I'm assuming is the Australian League? Gordon, apparently don't go with the Tars. The Reds are a good team to support if you like a guy who's developing local talent in Brad Thorne. The Force if you like a bunch of international guys who've kind of come together, Argentinians and Wallabies and former All Blacks. The Tars if you like a team which is apparently terrible. The Brumbies are pretty good too if you like them all. Force for the underdogs. Yes, that's true. If you want an underdog team, it's definitely the Force. Because remember, they were cut from Super Rugby and then they got added into the current comp. 33 points to 0. Oh man, this is getting bad, isn't it? Notice for the last couple of years the arrogance from the Tars, as they would have a few Wallabies traditionally, but now they have been caught out, they've been punished. Yeah, what's happened, man? They've just fallen off a cliff. As a Scot, I've always loved an underdog story. The Force it is. There you go. Blue jersey. Can't complain. Although the Tars and the Rebels also have blue. Why do the Force suffer? Lack of good players. The Force have kind of had a tough one because they've had to organise in a very short time. They weren't playing in Super Rugby. They were organising their own competition, the Global Rapid Rugby. But I reckon if you give them a few years in Super Rugby AU, they'll get back into the swing of things. Could you do a video reacting to School of Hard Knocks best moments? JP, chin up 2 cents. Come on, jump on a better Australian team. Okay, man, I'll finish my beers with that one. Maybe the Reds are a good suggestion, you reckon? I honestly used to hate the Reds when they were just so boring a few years ago. But since Brad's taken over, like the Reds were in a state of affairs for a while, eh, man? I mean, you'd know, but they're coming right. They're coming right. They're getting there. Cheers, brother. More for the couch fund. The couch is getting closer. Thank you, man. Too kind. You are too kind. Hope you're doing good, man. Hope your team's winning the AFL. I haven't been following it. What's the table look? Who's the top? Who's bottom? Where's Collingwood at? Everyone hates Collingwood. Get in them now, and there could be a force to be reckoned with. I see what you did there, Gordon. That's the one. Right, come on, Tars. Just get one try. We'll go for 7. Forget the 12 I mentioned earlier. Just get 7. I'll take 7. I don't like to see any team get nilled, man. Nick Berry's been fantastic. And we'll have to have a video showing the couch. Once I get a couch, yeah. We'll dedicate an episode to the to the JP couch. I'm knock on. Collingwood are down. Oh, you're a Collingwood man. What? 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 You're a Collingwood man. I can't believe that. You hate the Tars and yet you support Collingwood. How did that happen? Come on, man. Waratahs sounds like what happened to Leicester Tigers off a cliff. Yeah, Luke, that's pretty much it. Yep. Although Leicester were way more dominant than the Waratahs ever were. Been doing some phone calls. What have I missed about a couch? The whiteboard couch. Charlotte, at my new house, I don't have a couch yet. So I'm saving up for a couch along with a few other things. I need to get a proper lock put on my back door because I don't think that what I've got right now is very secure. Not that New Zealand's an unsafe country. I would still like a better lock on my door. The current one's just one of those push button locks. I feel like it's not. Yeah, I don't think it's doing much. I need to get another gas bottle put for my hot water because currently I've only got one. So if I run out of gas, I'm going to be having cold showers until I can deliver another one. And yeah, I need to get more shelves because the most of my shelves are using them for my rugby gear. Anyway. And the new lock to protect me from the tapping. Yes, exactly. Half the country hate us, half love us. Dad was a supporter, such in the blood. There you go. As long as you got a connection. Tars are the AU version of Gloucester. Maybe that's, yeah, a better way of putting it. Gloucester were decent for a while, eh? But they've fallen off a bit of a cliff recently. Whiteboard on the side of a couch. Could work. A house we rented years ago, if you didn't have your key with you when you went outside, if the door closed, you got locked outside. Jeez. Now, our place is not that bad, but yeah, the back door is just, you don't lock it with a key, you just push a button, boop, and then close the door. Get that lock sorted before the whiteboard fridge arrives. Got to protect the precious whiteboard fridge. I'm just visualizing that conversation. Is this the police? I've been burgled. What did they take? My whiteboard fridge. They took your whiteboard and your fridge. No, my whiteboard fridge. That's a whiteboard fridge. Got some drunk guy on the line. Can you get earn brew or tenants in New Zealand? You can get tenants. Oh, the Tars have just lost the ball again. Come on, Tars. 4.5 minutes. Get a black and white coach, contribute to Collingwood. Ooh, yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. I haven't seen one for sale anyway. Put the whiteboard on the back door. Could be a thing. You're laughing at the thought of the phone call to the police. I know. Come on, Tars. I think they're going to do it. The Tars actually scored a try. I don't believe it. It only took them 76 minutes. Whiteboard fridge, completely unique, therefore it's priceless. I know, now I'm thinking of the phone call to my insurance company. Tizano. Boo to the Tars, says JP. Try, Charlotte, I know. Alaram, man. Whiteboard French Development Fund. I don't have any beer left. Wine next time, Alaran. I'll grab some wine. I know you want me to go with the Whiteboard French Development Fund, but I may end up spending some of that on wine. Thank you, brother. Too kind. I'm going to go and tell my missus about a whiteboard. She's probably hearing. She can probably hear this. What's all this idea about a whiteboard fridge? Thank you, man. Imagine the insurance claim. What do you mean it's not covered? I know. We can't replace, priceless items like that. It's like replacing a Mona Lisa. You can't just... Mona Lisa's not a good example. Artwork. Seven points. Surely get the media pass now that you're spreading the word of the whiteboard fridge. I know, man. Surely. I haven't heard back from New Zealand Rugby since last week, though. Just happy I'm on the beer. Indeed, I did do a run to the bottle shop and managed to get some beer. Whoa, error in playback. What's going on? Check my network connection. My network connection's fine. Oh, maybe my network connection's not fine. My internet just cut off here. I've just restarted it. Can you guys hear me now? Fine. Stream never stopped. Okay, good. Yeah, my feed of the game just stopped, so I was curious. Although you guys are plugged into the router, whereas the game's on the Wi-Fi. Loud and clear. Good, folks. There's about 40 seconds left in this game. Remember that Tars, the commentators just mentioned it, that Tars try robs the Rebels of a bonus point at the moment, so yeah. I think they've just realized that. Blues are going to win 33-27. Mike Jones Sr., I pray you are correct. It has been a long time since the Blues beat the Crusaders. A very long time. Clock is in the red zone now. 33-7. This would never happen if you had a Wi-Fi router built into the whiteboard fridge. Yep. And then you open the whiteboard fridge and it's full of Long Dong beer from Taiwan. This needs to happen. Along with Great Northern. The other one I haven't tried. Maybe some Brains as well. Go Tars. Somehow they've... Go Maddox, put the hammer down. Is he too fast for Powell? Ha ha. 12 points, Alaran. They got 12 points. Can you believe it? 12 points. What did I say? How many points did I say they would get? Unbelievable. 12 points. I'm just going to guess they're going to miss the conversion. Oh no, the TMO's having a look. No. 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 I'm a genius until the TMO chalks it off. It's come off a Rebels player. That's going to be a knock on. Damn it, my 12 points. Oh, the TMO says play on. He likes the 12 points. We'll do it. How can you not overturn that? Come on. That was a knock on all day long. TMO felt pity for the Tars. Yeah, I'm a genius. There you go. Missed the conversion. Make it 12. Oh, bollocks. He actually got it. Okay, it's 14. There we go. 14. Good kick. Good kick. That was such a knock on. I know. I saw that and I was like, oh, there goes my call of 12 points. But okay. 33-14. If that flatters the Tars. Oh my goodness. Shonik, yeah, bro. The Tars scored 2 tries at the end to make this not look embarrassing. But it was... Wait, did he miss? Didn't that conversion go over? Oh, I must have had too much to drink. I've only had 2 beers. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's 11:30. I could have sworn he got that conversion. Did anyone else... Was anyone else watching that? Let's just get the whiteboard fridge thing going. He caught the last 2 tries. Okay. Yeah, Star Leo, I'm also confused. I thought that he kicked it left and it shaped right. I don't know. Anyway. Oh, that is 14. Thought I was going nuts. They didn't update the score for ages. Okie dokie. Right. Yes. Interesting game. Rebels will be disappointed. Rebels will be very disappointed with that one. But they still got the win, so I can't complain too much. Alright. Yeah, cheers guys for coming along. We've got... What do we got? Tomorrow is Chiefs and Hurricanes. Plus the Reds and the Brumbies. We should have at least one live stream there, I reckon. And then Six Nations. Again, not Scotland, Italy. It's on too early, but the other 2 should be all good. And then Blues Crusaders on Sunday afternoon. I don't think I'll be going to the game at this rate. Still too much stuff to do around the house. Life, man. But anyway, dude locked it on like 3 times, I know. Anyway, take care of yourselves, guys. Thank you for the whiteboard fridge innovation. We'll see how we go on that. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys again for the next one. Take care, guys. Good morning, good night, whatever it is. See you.